My name is Flo Fu. I'm a musician, director. I love aviation so much. People started to call me Airflow.
Get hard, double down. Unapologetically create your own reality. Build incredible relationships, and when you succeed, bring as many people as possible along with you. Give freely without expectation of return, and use your power to lift all things vertical. Next generation of the little company I work for, but lots of great, and a really wonderful 99s chapter there. Santa Rosa 99s, are you a part of that? All right, well, tell them I said hello. I was the vice chair of that chapter. Yes, definitely send my love. Yes, right? Yeah, so what was kind of cool is our helicopter in the A-Stars, you can actually flip the seats up. So we flipped the back seat completely up, and then basically we're able to load all the cargo in the back seat. So that's what we did in the A-Stars. We made as much room as possible. And then in the R-44s, we put it under the seats and we stacked it on top, and we shoved as much in there as we could.
Great question. Kaylee?
Started flying.
Oh, that's a good question. I was 16 when I first started flying. So I started taking, actually I'm from Michigan originally, not far from here. Yeah! Woo-hoo. So I started flying out of Jackson Reynolds Airport in Jackson, Michigan, and started taking lessons when I was in high school. And then airplane actually, and then when I was in college at Eastern Michigan University, if there's any EMU folks in here, yep, I flew a helicopter, and I was very inspired by the U of M helicopter too, and I sort of never turned back. Although I did get my commercial fixed wing license and do that once in a while, but mostly in the helicopters these days. I'm sure you've heard this before. This is not, I didn't make this up, but I really truly think after 13 years in business that really 99% is showing up and just keep going. And I know that sounds so simple, but sometimes I feel like we can get really wrapped up in hard things that happen, and the only way to solve those hard things is to keep finding a solution to them, right? And also the other little misnomer I think is that everyone else has hard stuff too. Like your hard thing, so does your neighbor, and that's kind of what I always like to say is, you're figuring out one thing over here, I always felt like I'm not the only one, that has hard things. So keep showing up, keep coming to the table and keep trying to work through solutions. Some take shorter, some take longer, but no challenge is too big to solve. Well, I took my whole family, we took 2 A-Stars when the lava was erupting from Kilauea on the Big Island, and we took 12 people to see the lava in Kilauea a few years ago, and that was pretty incredible. We got to see all the live lava and to actually have all my family and my baby. My first son Jack was 6 months old, so that was fun. He got to ride. I think we dropped him halfway. I don't think he got to see the lava, but we dropped him in Maui along the way, I think. But that was a really amazing flight. Over time, so I'll answer that to say my favorite part right now is seeing all of the people that work at Rainbow Helicopters grow and change and meet their own goals. I mean, I feel like I have so many more goals, but I also have been fortunate to meet and reach a lot of my goals, and it's very cool to provide a platform for other people to meet their goals. Yes, we are hiring. Careers@rainbowhelicopters.com. Little plug there. Yes, we actually are hiring pilots right now. Right now, this week we are. So they're all helicopters. We have two brands. One is Robinson R44 and the other is Airbus AS350s. So just two different manufacturers. And I started out with the Robinson R44s, and after we grew quite a while, we were having a large demand for larger parties. So to be all in one helicopter, so we definitely wanted to meet that demand. So we are able to put up to 3 people in the Robinsons and up to 6 people in the A-Stars and everything in between. So that's why we sort of did the jump to the A-Stars. A bit of all different types of flight training. And so I really wanted to go to professional helicopter flight school, and they had a good one in Hawaii. And it was about the same time I was ending that internship. And so I wanted to start my own business, and when I just went and visited, and I was like, oh, this is a good place for helicopters. So actually, no, although I had been to Hawaii and really liked Hawaii, but it wasn't something I had thought of when I was younger, per se. Know that it's gonna work out. And so if I, kind of like what I said today, if I could give my 20-some-year-old self, advice, I would say, you don't need to get all worked up about this, and you don't need to get all worked up about that, because it's going to work out over time. And also, people change. That's something that's important too. Sometimes, especially, when you're just getting started in something, you feel like there's challenges or barriers, and all of that moves and changes. Things that you think that are just permanent, it's not. So that's what I would give myself, as maybe a little bit more room to, not have so many ups and downs, but just know, hey, it's all gonna work out.
HAI, I know you're taking a well-deserved rest for a moment, but I'm sure you've got plans for the future. Anything you want to share with us?
Well, Rainbow Helicopters just opened our new base on the Big Island in actually July 15th. So just a little over a week ago, we opened our new base. So that is a big, huge expansion. So I've definitely directed my focus a little bit locally. Last year, it's been pretty global with VAI, and so I've been doing that. Of course, I'm continuing to serve on the board of directors for VAI, so really excited to continue my work there for the industry. And, probably I may do something with the Hawaii Tourism Authority. That's a government board appointed position in the state of Hawaii. And so as my business continues to expand, hopefully to all islands, over the next, I'm gonna say 3 to 5, I've got still a lot I'm heavily working on in the vertical industry, especially in Hawaii with some of our regulatory issues there. But in the next 3 to 5 years, I'm looking to potentially join the Hawaii Tourism Authority board. So in Hawaii, we have a bit of an ebb and flow sometimes. It's an all year round, tourism business, but some months are slower and some months are, larger. And what I saw over the years was there were many things that happened in the tourism industry that caused a change to our demand. And what I noticed over the years was, let's say something happened where all of a sudden a certain country wasn't flying to Hawaii or something like that. It would slow down, but as soon as it got back on, it was like the faucet was on, and almost we got busier. So I used a couple different instances that I've seen over the years in tourism to say in my head, okay, this is not good, but when it comes back, I know it's gonna come back. I know it's gonna come back big. So I took that intuition And I really had faith in that. And then with the question that was asked earlier, actually COVID ended up being a really kind of wonderful time for me personally, because I had gone, I guess, 9 years straight, just straight, you know, and I got a break. You know, I got a little break to step back and, you know, be at home. We were so, you know, forced at home. And so when I did that, I thought there was so much I had wanted to do, rebrand being one of them, but just lots of little details that you just don't have time for. So I thought, okay, it's gonna come back. I've got a break right now. I was thinking in the beginning it would be 2-3 months. It ended up being 8.5 for us, almost 9, and then another year to get it all really going. But so when I bought the A-Star, you know, I just, you know, I did a rebuild out of Canada, and I talked to them, and I just said, I want to do this, but like, you're going to have to work with me. Like, you know, I can't take delivery of this until my doors are open, you know, or at least I know they're going to be open. And they were like, let's do this. And we worked. It was a custom build, so it took a long time anyway. So it took 2/3 that time to build it and get everything I wanted in one of the A-Stars that I got first. But anyways, this is basically, I, you know, used that time, and then through good communication, you know, we took delivery of the helicopter when I finally saw a light at the end of the tunnel. And I took a gamble, you know. I mean, yeah, of course, we had to make some big purchases during that time, but I took a gamble. And then the other thing I wanted to add was that my business is Part 135, as I talked about. So we worked with Vertical Aviation International, actually, and our regulatory team there to ensure that Part 135 helicopter companies received the same air carrier payroll support as the airlines did. So actually, I kept my whole staff on salary. I mean, everybody was paid. They were just at home. Although most of them really weren't working because I didn't have anything to do. It was to stay at home. So anyways, that's a little plug. If you are part of, you know, any type of, you know, specific fixed wing helicopter, whatever, joining an association, that can really make a difference, you know, when things are hard, such as COVID, when things are affecting everybody. So anyways, it's a story of keeping the faith, but it was definitely a hard one, and timing was everything. Don't get a dog, don't get a pet, or don't get a plant, don't get a friend. No, I'm totally joking. A lot of my friends are here. By the way, I had friends. No, I'm totally joking. But no, so here's my answer to that, which is, I think people put a lot of expectations on themselves, and then they try to start businesses. And I'm talking in general, just from a lot of people that ask me that same questions. And one of the things I didn't do was pressure myself to do any of that. Like, I didn't need to do anything my friends were doing, whether that was travel or get married or get a dog or get a plant or whatever. And I said, and I did do some of that stuff. You know, I did. But my point is, focus on your business. You know, at 24, I love that goal. Very specific, by the way. That's great. And, you know, focus on your business, and don't worry about what your friends are doing or what anybody is telling you what you should or shouldn't be doing. All of those things that life goals, we'll call them, will come in your time. You know, I didn't have my first son until I was 38, you know, or I guess 37, and then my second son when I was 39. And I didn't want to do any of that until then, because I really loved my business. And then the other thing I'll say, just to wrap it up, is continue to ask yourself if you love it. And if you do love it, then keep doing it. If you get going and you go, you know what, maybe business ownership isn't for me, find something that is for you, because business ownership it's a breed, and it's something that you really have to love to keep the energy to keep doing it.